Hi guys, I'm Novon Baita and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about a special topic called Trans Bathroom Bill, the hidden truth. I'm going to do a pro and con kind of thing with it. The pros will be basically why transgender people should use the bathroom. And I say that loosely. I say people loosely because they aren't really targeting transgendered men. They're really only targeting transgendered women. So it seems it seems like they don't even really know what they're talking about because they're only targeting a certain, you know, gender, a gender identity. They're not uh, um, equally, paying attention to each one, which is weird. Like they're not even mentioning it, which is beside the point. Well, it's not beside the point. It's actually a really important point, actually, maybe. So, because they aren't doing it. But without further ado, I'm going to do the pros and cons with the pros first and then the con, okay? So, one of the pros is transgender when trans women on HRT have a lower libido. They can't get erect as easily or as much. Some of them, in some cases, anyway. For the trans men, they don't have penises. Unless they get like an implant or something. I think I've seen something like an implant that they can get. Um, but I do believe that they can. You know, you know, get a penis if they want. Anyway, but their sex drive is definitely increased because of the testosterone that's flowing through them. So that's definitely one that's a pro, and then it's also kind of a con because of which actually leads me to the con of that, which is that trans women still can get erect in most cases. So I guess for those people in those few states that feel like they don't want them in the bathroom, it's because they can still get erect. But then again, that leads me to my next pro, which is also against the bill. Um, all my pros are against the bill. All my cons are for the bill. It's kind of, I guess that's the easiest way to say it. HRT makes trans women weaker, which gives them less muscle mass, um, like a biological woman. So they basically have the same strength, and which is why they look like a woman. And then trans men, on the other hand, they are more when they're taking their HRT, they become more aggressive, they become more strong, they become more, dominant, wanting to dominate situations, etc. Like men like tend to do. Um, then a con for that is um, trans women do become more fragile and more easier to hurt, and it becomes harder for them to defend themselves. So, I mean, that would be a con for trans women, but I guess a plus for the state because obviously they want trans women to be at a disadvantage in the situation because they obviously, I mean, that fact is known, you know, if anybody knows anything about trans people and trans women especially, if you take hormones, it makes your body weak. So, or it gives you less muscle density, etc. So, another pro is going to be that the non-passable women will confuse children, but will open up dialogue towards understanding. So this will lead for, and I say that's a pro, but it's also a con too. I'm gonna start with the pro part of it though first. Now, I said it opens up dialogues, and that's the part that I really want to focus on for the pro because I feel like if you if there's a dialogue and people do begin to understand what transgendered means and what that identity is, and that is not something that is going to attack or hurt or demean anybody else in any other kind of way, unless that person is has something else in their head which has nothing to do with their gender. Like that's something to do with their, you know, psychological, mind. Like if you're not there, you're not there. It has nothing to do with the gender. So, well, it has something to do. Everything psychological has something to do with everything, a part of the body. But I mean, not in the same sense that it would be like, oh, if you feel like you should be the opposite sex and you are like some psycho killer, like that's just silly. Um, so, like I said, it would open up dialogue, but then again, it would also open up dialogue for the people who have sheltered kids. Like, if you're like one of those people who live like in the suburbs or, something like that, and, or just, you don't want your kids to, or you're just, in the city and you don't want your kids exposed to that, seeing someone who's maybe not passable, and then, you have to explain, why does that, you know, biological man, you know, appear to be a woman. So that's one of the cons, which helps them, but is bad for the trans world. Um, another pro would be that, which is funny. I started to get a little naughty. I was like the trans women that sell their body. Well, thank you for you being so blind to discrimination to the point that it helps their pockets overflow. Oh, that their pockets overflow. So people being so blind to discrimination makes their pockets flow, or will make their pockets overflow. Really, the people that are selling their bodies, and I'm talking specifically about the people that are selling their bodies that are trans women. If they pass the bill, and I think it is passed or whatever, then basically they can basically just get their all their clientele right there, basically, because I'm gonna show a couple clips and throughout this video. So like right now, I'm gonna show you a couple clips like of prostitution and stuff. Okay, so yeah, so basically, instead of doing it outside, they be doing it right in the bathroom, right next to the kids that you don't want them to do it next to, because you've made it more accessible to them to do, and you made it legal for them to do, and in a sense, I don't know, it's kind of demeaning. So in a sense, I think it'll create more of a divide than it will bring America together, in a huge sense. Because even though like we all are Americans at the end of the day, no matter if as long as the person isn't hurting anybody, and at the end of the day, we all are Americans. Like period, we all are Americans. And that's the one thing I think that we all can agree upon. And as an American, we should have our rights, you know. And if we don't have our rights, then what do we have? You know, I mean, seriously, I think those are some of the questions. Like, are they American? Should they be treated like an American? And if they are American, if they should be treated like an American, why aren't they? Because the average American doesn't have to go through that in this day and age. So, anyway, another con would be, or a con actually would be that men and trans women will start having a lot of sex in the stalls, which is something I've already said. They basically would be doing that would be a con, like I said, because kids would be next would be in the stalls next to someone getting a blowjob, and that would not be good. Um, Another, but then again, a pro would be the LGBT community would grow. So then, yay, there would be a lot of like gay people in North Carolina and Georgia, in what was it, Georgia or whatever. So it'd be like that'd be like the new gay mecca or something. So that might actually be cool, like a couple decades. All right, so we're gonna go into the next part. The anti, which is basically all cons. Okay, these are all cons, but they are open to pros too. So I will be saying pro and cons of each one, of each line. Hi guys, so I'm gonna be finishing this up by just doing some general ones, which can be taken either way. So here we go. I'll just go with it as I flow. Okay. So the anti-LGBT community will be able to access the LGBT community a lot easier because, or especially the transgender community, because they'll be able to identify them and they will want to detain them if they don't use the facilities that they're supposed to use. Um, like they did to a Caucasian woman who was in the women's bathroom, and I think they were saying that she was a man or something like that. I don't know. I forgot what it was, but I saw it on my one of my channels that I really like to watch, Raven, like Raven Nova. So check her out. She's cool. She was like an activist that doesn't believe she's an activist, but okay. Um, Okay, so the next thing I wanted to say was some people will fight. Oh yeah, some people will fight transgenders in the bathroom, and basically that's like you're in the. Can you imagine you sitting down and you're doing a number two, and a transgender person is in the bathroom and they're like at the mirror, and then gang of whoever comes in and they just don't like gay people and they especially don't like transgender people, and this person is not passable and they end up fighting right there in the bathroom, and you're sitting in the stall doing a number two, and this is going on while you're taking a number two. It's like, I know this is 2016, and the people that are really listening to this are probably like, "Oh, I would just take out my phone and I would be like, I'm gonna, record what they do and blah blah blah." But that's not cool. That's not cool. And for the people who are realistic and human, you'll be scared. Like I know I would be like terrified. Like what the fuck is going on? So okay, I also wanted to say that trans men like women. So that's like I said before, trans men aren't really looked at as the problem, maybe because there are less of them. But at the end of the day, they still do exist, and you cannot like, deny the fact that they exist and the fact that they would have to go into the women's bathroom. And I'll actually show a couple images of trans men right now and how and when who will really be around your women, children, sisters, grandmas, etc. that everybody's so worried about. Okay, guys, so now I want to just finish this a whole thing up by just talking about two more things. I actually did a lot of research and tried to find people who were transgendered and committed sexual assault on women. So I managed to find three. Okay, after hours of searching, I managed to find three. Okay, so I'm going from the one of the latest ones, which is almost like 2 decades ago, to one of the earliest ones. Okay, so in 1992, there was a dentist Wilbert. Um, he was accused of raping women, and then he transitioned after he committed those crimes, and then he used the transition as a concealment to hide who he really was. So he really wasn't transgender. I don't think. I think he was just trying to hide from the law because he had committed a lot of rapes. So then there is a Robert Brown in 2007. He was passing as a woman online and was tricking young teenagers like 16 and under, to send images and stuff like that. And then he would trick them by saying that if they didn't do what he asked sexually, then he would basically post the images online and stuff like that. And so he ended up getting a lot of teenagers, and actually one adult male. The report that I said allegedly, that's what they claimed in the report. It seemed like an accurate report. I didn't write down where I got the information from, but then again, it was from 2007, so it's a pretty old article that I found online. And then we have, let's see, Christopher Hambrook. And that's the most recent one. And that was, he transitioned out. He actually, this is the only one where the person actually was transitioned before and probably during his assaults. So like this is like really technically the only one. Christopher Hamburg in 2014, he transitioned to Jessica. And then he was arrested after committing a bunch of rapes that he committed in the shelter, and this was in Toronto, Canada. Now, this allegedly happened in 2014, so I don't know how accurate this story is or how truthful this is, but if anybody knows anything about that story, please let me know. It happened in Toronto, Canada, 2014, and the name of that person was Christopher Hambrook. Okay? So I just want to finish up with my last thoughts, okay? Okay, guys, I just wanted to finish up by just saying that trans women like Christina Gorgensen, Gorgensen have been using public bathrooms since the 1950s without any issues, or with little to no issues, besides the fact that some of them get into fights for not being passable. I was not able to find any actual assaults in any public bathrooms by any transgendered women. So I think that that's one main thing that people should be bringing to the table. Where is their proof of all these accusations that they're making, and all the claims that they have and all the worries that they have? Where is their proof? Without proof, then what else do they have? You have nothing, which means you have no claim. You have no claim to say that transgender women are doing any of the things that you claim that they're doing. So, but as like I said before in my last statement, when I was talking about the three the three people who actually were transgendered, and well, actually one of them was transgendered. Um, before committing their crimes. You know what I'm saying? But so I'll focus on the Christopher Hemmingbrook. Actually, you know what? It was Dennis Wilbrook. Dennis Wilbrook was the one. Oh, no. It was one of these three. Started, I think it was Brown for some reason. It was Robert Brown, I think, from 2007. But either way, there's a law that people tried to enact, which is called the Allison Law. I'm going to put that on the screen. The Allison Law is basically a law that prevents people who have committed sexual crimes like rape and molestation and stuff like that. They will not be able to change their sexual identity, not their name, not their birth, not their ID, not anything. They would have to stay the way they were, so that the government will be able to keep a monitor on them, so that they would not, do like these three people or one person did, or actually, all three of them did start the hormones, because if I'm not mistaken, all of them did start the hormones. So really, all of them technically did start to become women, but only one of them was already doing it prior to. And that was Jessica, or the real name or birth name of Christopher Hembrook. So. Hambrook. So yeah, I think people should check out this Allison Law. I also think that people, especially trans people, should start asking the question of, where's your proof? And you need lots of it. You can't just have like 3 stories, and expect that you can stop millions of people from using the bathroom. You need more than 3 stories. So that's all I have to say, guys. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Please comment down below and tell me what you guys think, okay? Love you all, and thank you for watching. Bye.